How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm your host, Jesse Morgan, and I'm here today to do a review on Cranial Discharge's upcoming new album called Intravaginal Defecation. Now, they did send me a promotional kind of copy to review, which I did kind of burn myself a copy so that I could listen to it a lot and put it on my Xbox and whatnot. So the copy I have is just for promotional use and whatnot, and to get myself better situated with what I'm reviewing. So I appreciate them sending me the files so that I could do that. Very good stuff indeed. And let me tell you why. Now, Cranial Discharge is a slamming brutal death metal band from the UK. The members are James Purple on vocals and drums, and then Will Taylor Bennett on guitar. Now, I'm going to go through it as I normally do, doing vocals, guitars, bass, drums, and then my overall thoughts and favorite tracks. Just kind of the usual format of how I do this. So let's just start with the vocals. James Purple utilizes a few different styles, and they all kind of are like indecipherable lyric style type vocals. His main vocal style that he uses throughout the entire album here is this kind of airy brie or pig squeal type of vocals, and it's done pretty darn good. He also uses another style every now and then throughout, it's sort of like a frog or like a gurgly type low vocal style. And the rarely heard one, but I'd love to hear more of, is just kind of like a lower, kind of growly type vocals. Just your regular kind of death metal vocals. Like I said, all the vocals that he does utilize in this are performed well and consistently. I would like to hear more from his low, like death metal vocals and his frog vocals. I'd like to see them return more, and perhaps maybe make the brie vocals a little wetter, because like I said, it came off as a little airy or dry. But they're executed well. Like he did it well. He didn't seem like he was struggling. It's just, I don't know if it was in the mix the way it sounded like that, or if it's just how he executes the vocals. They came off like really like airy and not like crisp and bitey kind of vocals. And anyone who knows me and how I like my slams or brutal death metal, I like really crisp, like bitey type of vocals when it comes to stuff like that. But he did his style very well, so I give him credit for that. And I like the frog and lower type that he put in there, just kind of throughout the album. And good job, James. Good job. Guitars. This would be Will Taylor Bennett's part of the album. I don't think they were tuned too low. I actually believe they might have been like drop D or drop C. I don't think it was any lower than drop C, but it was a really good tone, very crisp, very heavy, and super solid. Like those riffs were not being mistaken and were not kind of blurry at all. You could tell each riff, and it was like recorded really well. He seemed to have done a good job staying to the beat, staying on time, not being sloppy. So good job there, Will. What else we got here? Oh yes, some of the riffs that he did in there, they remind me of Guttural Slug. If anyone liked the Megalodon album, you will really enjoy Will's style of guitar riffing in this, and the tone, because the tone also reminded me of the Guttural Slug tone, at least from the Megalodon album. But yeah, needless to say, he has some great grooves in there, some simple, catchy slams, not overly complicated, not too showboaty, just slamming brutal death metal at its finest. He was also not afraid to throw in some like kind of rock riffs in there as well, or step outside the genre for new riff inspirations and styles. And they even though it was still slamming death metal, those styles that he utilized into creating new riffs, they kicked ass and they worked good. So good on you, Will, for being able to like step outside the genre and bringing it in and making it still work. That kind of uniqueness reminds me of how Devour the Fetus kind of utilized the slam and roll style. I kind of see a little bit of that in his riff writing. Now the bass, I'm not sure who did the bass or if there is any, but I think there is. Like I heard some stuff underneath the line, like underlined there. I don't know, maybe if that was just a re-recorded guitar that was set to bass tones or something, but I think I heard it in there. It was low in the mix, and it had a fair amount of distortion, and there's nothing too stand outishness of it, but it definitely added to the overall heaviness of the album. It seemed to be used more as a placeholder and to kind of just beef up the rest of the tracks. So whatever they did there to make it sound like there's bass, whether there is or isn't there, I enjoyed it, and I noticed it was in there. So whatever that is, I'm pretty sure it's the bass. But yeah, it was good and did what it needed to do. Now for the drums, I am pretty sure it's not programmed drums. I'm pretty sure it's James Purple on an electric kit. It was utilized well. It definitely didn't sound too digital or inhuman. Like every kind of drum beat that was put in there and composed seemed like something an actual person could do. So yeah, the double kicks were very nice. Had a nice solid punch to each one of them. Well performed fills. Cymbal work was good. It fit the tracks synonymously. I liked how everything was put in there and wasn't too cluttered, wasn't too lacking. Every track seemed to be composed well drum wise. Basically they knew when to blast. James knew when to blast. He knew when to keep it simple. He even threw in some bass drops in there for good measure. So if you're like a Gut-Fed fan or an Extermination Dismemberment fan or a Maximized Bestiality fan, you'll like the the subtle bass drops that happen every now and then throughout the album. And the snare is a non-abrasive snare, and it's definitely tolerable. Anyone who knows me when it comes to slam and brutal death metal and stuff like that knows I cannot stand the whole pang 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 kind of snare. So it was nice that it wasn't too all in your face and just like unnecessary sounding. So thanks for doing that kind of sound for the snare in there. Definitely appreciated it, and definitely didn't take away from the rest of the drumming. My favorite tracks on this, being Intravaginal Defecation, has to be first up number 8, which is a harken back to when they first started making music before this new album that's coming, is Happy Magic Unicorns. Now, one of the funniest parts of this track is the very beginning, where it has that little girl from Despicable Me going, "He's so fluffy, I'm gonna die!" I love that part. It's hilarious, and the rest of them are just so upbeat kind of slam, which is kind of odd, but it definitely put a smile on my face, and I could put that song on repeat for at least a good half an hour. The next track that I really enjoyed was the self-titled track, the Intravaginal Defecation track. It was super slow, very groovy, very bulldozer-ish. Kind of reminded me of this band, Rectal Depravity, that's on my Slam Bros label. And yeah, I definitely appreciated the approach there, how it's kind of separated itself from the rest of the tracks on the album, but was still in the same zone. Same as Happy Magic Unicorns. It was more upbeat and happy and funnier. It was still in the same zone, but it has its own uniqueness, and the way the Intravaginal Defecation does it is in the slow, groovy, kind of chugging along way. The next song I really enjoyed was number 9, that being Torn and Rotting. It just it made me laugh with the llamas with hats, or llamas in hats, whatever samples. The whole, well, I kill people and I eat hands, that's a thing, or I stabbed them 27 times in the chest. Like, those samples killed me. I think that's hilarious. And another thing that I thought might be neat, I don't know if this was intentional or if it was self-aware, or anything like that, but Torn and Rotting kind of reminded me of the Slipknot song, just in title wise, but of Tattered and Torn. Now, was that a reference to Slipknot's song, or was that just something that kind of happened and I'm just reading too much into it? Maybe you guys can let me know. And the final song that I really enjoyed, the rest of them are really good, but like the top four being number 12, that being Santorum Slime Shot. It had some very unique riffs, had some kind of neat little extra little drum things going on. There's some, I don't know if there's a time change when it come to some parts, maybe probably the tempo change, yes, but there were some interesting riffs that it had like a off kind of tempo to it or something to me, and I just found that like to be very ear catching, and I'm like, oh, well, this is neat. So yeah, those four tracks, Happy Magic Unicorns, Intravaginal Defecation, Torn and Rotting, and Santorum Slime Shot, I found to be the top four of this album. I know they've released another single for this called Abortions Send Babies to God Faster. I actually enjoyed that one. That was pretty good. A couple of runners-up might be Unwanted Abortion, Newborn Porn, and Post-Birth Abortion. There's a lot of baby references in this. But yeah, those are a couple of good kind of runners-up. In the intro, Swifty Slams was pretty amusing. I'm pretty sure the Swifty thing is from that new show that I can't remember right now, but yeah, that scientist that has the crazy giant blue hair and like is an alcoholic and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's what that's from. But anyways, my overall thoughts about this album is it's a fairly unique and refreshing romp in what has kind of become a sea of faceless slam band clones. Definitely looking forward to the future of Cranial Discharge. If they kind of keep up this experimental, riff-wise, or experimentation riff-wise, and this kind of dipping into other genres for inspiration, like for riffs, they could definitely become quickly a fan favorite in their genre. And the art of humorous sampling is not lost here. They definitely include some samples that are like really funny, definitely bring a uniqueness to each track, and kind of helps give each track its own distinct sound, where when that sample hits, you're like, oh, I know what song this is. So that's good. I like how they utilize that. I know a lot of people are kind of getting, it got old for a bit because every slam band or brutal death metal band seemed to be doing that, but I think Cranial Discharge uses samples well, and they fit the songs and make sense. So keep it up. Barely any tracks felt like filler, like stuff that just kind of like made and went, yeah, good enough, throw that in there, we need to make this album longer. It didn't seem like that. Pretty much every track on here kind of kept pounding out the hooks and catchy beats, and all in all, just a fun and enjoyable brand of slamming brutal death metal. Long story short, I'm Jesse Morgan, and I would buy this album. Thanks, guys, and stay sick. Well, that's the end of the video, folks. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all your likes, shares, and subscribes. Before I go, though, I would like to promote the band that is on my Super Slam Bros label, Rectal Depravity, with their EP Pedal Catholic Fornication. You can pick yourself up a copy for $18 shipped if you like. Really good, just slamming porno grind. Pretty groovy, pretty disturbing tracks, and sealed, comes sealed, so it's brand new, and I think you will not be disappointed whatsoever. And the other thing I have for sale still are Slam Bros Brutal logo shirts with the white logo on the front and the red or green 2-player Slam Engage logo on the back, which I'm also doing for $18 shipped. Now, if you want to get a bit of a discount, I highly recommend getting both of those in a bundle for $32 US shipped. It's a little bit off, and it'll save you a bit of money there, but it'll also be greatly helping me out here at the Black Metal Rebellion. It'll help me get new stuff in stock, keep this channel running, and bringing new content to you guys every week. I really appreciate it. For glory, for the rebellion, Slammerella out.